Fathers is the premier media platform for sharing and telling stories of Black fathers. We are here where it all began in St. Louis at Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri. I am joined by Brad Edwards, the community organizer, and Rob Hughes, Director of Development for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, thank you for allowing us to be here. What an amazing event and opportunity. So instead of getting socks, we're talking about getting something a little more substantial and sustainable for Black fathers. Brad, tell us a little bit more about why this matters and how it came to be.
Yeah, so the platform was founded by Lamar Johnson and Jesse. They're both from St. Louis, live in Dallas and Oakland right now. But they've been friends for over 20 years, and they would have this running joke of if they didn't know how to do something, like, well, if I had a dad, I would know how to do it, right? So the platform started based off of them to have relationships with their fathers. And I think for us to understand who we are as an individual, we have to know both sides, right? Our mother and our father. So they felt incomplete in that way. So it's starting the foundation, starting the platform, and it being based around stories of Black fathers, it gave people opportunity to share in something they may have missed out on. So they've learned about being a man and being a father for Lamar by us having these conversations and having these rooms made available for other Black fathers, other Black men.
I look forward to hearing more about how you create this safe space and environment to talk. But what brought you to Dear Fathers?
I was actually scrolling on Facebook and so on Instagram. I've been knowing Lamar for about 10 years. Me and Jesse knew of each other, but I saw what they were doing. And I'm like, man, this is really cool. And it was at a time where I was focused on digesting more positive content. So I would just start sharing it to everyone that I could, and they came like, hey, let's come together. And I was about to become a father. My daughter was born May 18th, 2020. So for me, it was like, all right, this is a perfect opportunity. So when we created our mental health space, it just all made sense for us to come together and do this.
Sure. Well, as a community organizer, what do you bring to the table as a contribution to the effort?
So I've been involved within the St. Louis community for 15 plus years. Yeah. But just really at the organic grassroots level. So in doing what we're doing with the organization, so once a month I host a mental health conversation based around fatherhood, just whatever's going on in life. So between things like that, we're doing this in-person event. We've done back to school drive, whatever it is that we can do to put our stamp on the community. That's what we're looking for.
Wow, great. Well, then that means we need to bring you into the conversation, Rob. Director of Development for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri. This has significance because your organization fills in the gap where fathers are missing, and Brad was just talking about the founders felt that absence. Talk about what this platform as well as the event means for you and this organization.
Sure. Mentoring, right?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, filling in the gap. As a mentor, it means everything. It gives kids that may not have the opportunity to see that representation of themselves, just that creating opportunity and access where there may not be any. Brad came to me and said we need to do something together. We're doing the same things. Let's combine and use our resources. And it just so happened when I came into this role, he was working side by side with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Wow. in a space where we were calling it Representation Matters. So Party for a Purpose and Representation Matters. So I just came in and said, it's time. And we put all of our energy towards making sure that our children, our youth in our communities are developing in a space where it is safe and they do have that representation piece in front of them of successful Black women, successful Black men that actually care.
Sure. Well, I'm sensing a synergy between the two of you, and you in particular, Rob, when you came into this role, you brought something unique, a perspective that tells a new story and makes sure that the narrative is accurate to not only who you serve, but who you really need to get involved. And there's a connection there. Talk about some of the efforts that you've made and how this really pulls it all together.
Sure. Piggybacking off of a Party with a Purpose, we knew from data that there was a need for our littles, our mentees, to have Black male and females that look like them.
Yeah.
We were so behind in numbers as it pertains to mentors, to mentees. We were trailing our counterparts. We only had 34 black applications from black men last year.
Yeah.
So now we implemented Black 365, which Brad is a supporter of, where we're doing 300 applications in 65 days. Man Up Global stepped up and brought their network in, and it's been going great. We have now surpassed our counterparts. We did that in a matter of 45 days, which hasn't been done in the 100+ years of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Right.
So what that tells me is, tells us is, we're there. Yeah. We're present.
Right.
We know the need, we care.
Yes.
It's just time to use these resources that this city has, that these organizations have, gain a bit more visibility in our community, and really go to task with making sure that our children see us, feel us, know that we care.
Sure. Yeah. I think you're dispelling a number of myths. You know, one about, for sure, caring, the availability of black men and women to be mentors, especially black bigs as men. There's some more to this myth that I feel like you're addressing, and I'm going to bring it back to you, and that is, it's not because we're absent necessarily. Can you talk a little bit more about being a present father and the misimpression that's been going around?
Yeah, so it's actually data through the CDC that lets you know that black men are more present than any other race when it comes to being with their children.
I'm sorry, was that, you said it was what?
Black men are more present than any other race when it comes to being involved in their children's lives.
Okay.
I think that media definitely plays its part.
Some.
Yeah, some. Right.
What's up?
Huey P. Newton said a long time ago that it doesn't expect for the white media to put us in a good light. And through our media platform, we're able to show and tell these stories to dispel that. Rob has done an amazing job at Big Brother Big Sister and just kind of changing the narrative and the view of what that looks like.
And special thanks again to Rob Hughes, who is the Director of Development for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri. Been in this from the beginning. Exciting event happening this Saturday. You absolutely do not want to miss. Do not get your dad a tie. Get him to this event and watch how his fatherhood flourishes. So now I'm going to bring in the MC for the evening. D Smooth is joining us in the conversation. Thank you for being with us and talking about this very important conversation, but even more so, the event.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. Thank Dear Fathers, thank Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I appreciate y'all and the platform for what they do for Black fatherhood and the stories that they're telling.
I love that. Can I get some of that? That right there is a universal language. That is something that's unspoken, that you already know what it meant. I feel like this platform creates this and that to other fathers, to other brothers. How did you create this safe space and how does it work?
So it was created during the pandemic. We obviously knew that the Black and brown communities would be impacted way more than anyone else. So to create the space, had no idea that it was going to be as well received as it was. Like I said, we had over 5,000 guys in that space since its inception of May of 2020. It's just really it's organic. We have guys coming in from all over the country. They don't even know each other. We have licensed therapists that kind of moderate and give that professionalism to the conversation. But like I told you earlier, I've had guys that I met in May of 2020 that they've watched my kids grow. I've seen their kids. Like it's just like we're friends now. Yeah. Based off of this conversation about mental health and the things that we're battling as Black men, it's so much strength and shared experiences. And also having the opportunity to be vulnerable. And
that
really
just doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Somehow you're convincing the fellas that they have permission, there's an open space for it.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're receiving it.
Yeah, receiving their love. They look forward to it. I get texts the day of, like, what we talk about today at
nice.
session and all that. So it's just not making it forced. It's really just letting it happen.
Absolutely. I'm glad you include the mental health piece. And as we were talking before, D Smooth, that was a huge component for you. As MC and connecting to this project, what brings you to this work and why does it matter for you?
Being a father is probably the best thing that I've ever accomplished in my life, right? And trying to figure out how I can do that and be myself and know that I'm going to make mistakes, and being able to share it with other fathers and kind of get their advice on it, like that kind of solidified a lot of things for me as a father, you know, and it really connected me to the organization. And this isn't the first time I did work with them. Like I've been a part of Straight Mental. I've been a part of Books and Bourbon. I've been a part of a lot of things that Dear Fathers has done. And to be a part of this event, I think it's going to be really significant.
So what you going to bring is MC, you know, it's the MC's job to move the crowd.
Of course, I got to bring the energy. I got to bring the smiles. I got to bring the happiness, you know, and I just want people and I want fathers to be able to be celebrated on the day, be able to have a good time, be able to let back, be able to kick back, let back, and do their thing, you know, just be able to have a good time around other Black fathers and spread some knowledge.
This sounds like something you've learned on the other side of trial and error, School of Hard Knocks. Oh my God, I'm a dad. The toughest job in the world. But
Absolutely.
You all have a sense of pride and joy. What's something you've learned through this that you want to pass on to other fathers?
Oh man,
it's kind of your invitation, you know, but
it's so
that
much.
realness.
The one thing I'll say is never limit yourself. So my story, I think, is kind of unique in the sense that the day that we brought my daughter home, her mother had postpartum preeclampsia. So she was forced to go back to the hospital. So the first 48 hours of my daughter's life, I had her by myself.
Wow.
So I had never changed a diaper before. I've never fed a baby with a bottle. I've never done any of this stuff. And I was literally thrown into the fire. And I knew from literally that day, that there was nothing that would come that I would not be able to learn, do, adapt, whatever it is. So have I made mistakes or had to learn some different things? Of course. But that day of dealing with that baby and knowing that I'm the only person that she has, that gave me the strength to be able to do whatever. So I tell guys all the time, like, don't be hard on yourself. You're learning, but you don't have to learn by yourself. And one thing I did outside of having the community for Dear Fathers was I created a group chat with some guys that I respected as fathers, so I could ask questions. I didn't know what postpartum was.
Right.
What
is happening, you know what I mean? Even?
But because I was able to learn what it was and don't take things personal and just understand the things that she's gone through and the challenges that she's faced, I was able to navigate that. So I had a friend recently just had a child and he had some things going with postpartum. And he was like, bro, if we didn't have that conversation 2 weeks ago, I would have lost my mom. But because you told me everything you told me, I was able to take it, you know, with grace and get through it. So I just think the biggest thing I can tell is have conversations, talk to your friends, just talk to people that's been there, that's going through it at the same time, because you don't have to go through this journey alone.
Sure. But men don't talk typically or are not encouraged. And so this is something new. What did you learn that you would want to talk with fathers or pass along to other fathers, Black fathers?
And definitely, like, being able to have that openness to know that mistakes are going to happen. I make mistakes daily, you know, and being able to look at my daughter and know that she's going to forgive me. Like, she lets me know, like, Daddy, I forgive you. Yeah. Because that's important to me. She knows that as we're going through this.
These daddy's girls is making me.
I'm telling you, as we're going through this, it's like one of the most beautiful things. Yeah. Because we're learning together and she respects that I mess up and that she's cool, but she knows that Daddy's gonna make sure he steps for her every time. Sure.
Can I let you in on a little secret? They don't necessarily know those are mess ups. You're gonna be.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're encouraging that and encouraging that in others. Well, let's send out the invitation for other fathers to make sure they're here for this event. What is your invitation and what can they look forward to? How can they get it?
Like I say, I can't express enough. Like, this is a celebration. We're gonna have, you know, the music going out here on the patio, the rooftop. We got my man D Smooth is gonna be bringing the energy.
My man.
We got Nitty that's gonna be the host. We got specialty cocktails. All our cocktails are named after famous TV dads. So I mean, it's 15 guys that are doing amazing things, not only in their households, but within the St. Louis community all together. So it's gonna be a pure celebration.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you're gonna bring the energy.
I'm looking forward to bringing the energy. It's going to be one of the most magnificent Father's Days ever.
Thank you both. This is going to be incredible. Can't wait to see and experience this on Saturday. So to you, Brad, to you, D Smooth and Rob, thank you so much. The only thing that's missing is you. So make sure you are here. Big brothers, big sisters of Eastern Missouri, North Grand Avenue right here in the Grand Center. It is important. It is exciting. It is a celebration of fathers. Father's Day weekend happening here for dear fathers. And for STL TV, I'm Jade Harrell. Experience St. Louis.